Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you are in the world. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from Durban, South Africa to the world. I am Bibi Amina Fili and this is Let's Sit Down. On today's edition, we speak about the police brutality, the end SARS protest in Nigeria. Joining me to have this conversation all the way from Cape Town is Dr. Joseph Adeyemo. Dr. Joseph Adebayo, welcome to Let's Sit Down.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so let's get straight into the discussion. For our viewers who may not be so conversant with the SARS protest that's going on in Nigeria, what was the genesis of the protest? When did it start and what was the cause?
The NSAS, once again, thank you for having me. This is a very important topic because at the bedrock of every democracy is a vibrant peaceful. But it's important to state that we've always had issues of police brutality long before now. Just a brief historical background. In the early 90s, during the structural adjustment program in Nigeria, crime and criminality increased. So at that time, the then commissioner, the then police IG, I beg your pardon, Ibrahim Kumasi, instituted or started a unit called the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, known as SARS. And the aim was to have a specialized unit that will respond quickly to crime, that will have special budgetary allocation, and that will be very equipped. So credit to them, when SARS started, crime reduced drastically, to be honest. But subsequently, in the years after, people started complaining of police brutality, of high-handedness by SARS officials. Now, because there was no social media, people didn't know much. So I think that social media has made it seem like it's a new occurrence. It's been there for years. I mean, the late Fela Kuti even sang about police brutality in the 70s. So we always have police brutality, but for SARS, it started in the 90s, an actual recording of violence against the citizens started in the era of the social media. Of course, now people could now post those kind of pictures and videos of police brutality. Yeah. So that's how it started, basically. But then what led to the NSAS protest happened somewhere in Delta State. A young man was, apprehended by SARS officials. People claim that SARS officials shot the young man and drove away with his car. So because of the power of social media, obviously, a few people captured the incident and posted on social media, and as they expected, that was public outrage. So it started from mini protests to what became known as the NSAS movement.
Okay.
That was a brief historical overview.
Okay, so now let's fast forward. We saw several horrific, I would say, videos and images emanating from the protest that took place on the 20th of October through several social media platforms. As you mentioned, social media has been how this brutality had been exposed, in which some have termed as the Black Tuesday. What was going through your mind on that gloomy day?
I mean, I had immediate and after reaction. My immediate reaction was that under no condition should a country suppress its citizens from protesting. Protests are fundamental human rights of citizens of a country. So my immediate response was, this is callous, this is unnecessary, especially when reports emanated that the military shot at harmless and defenseless protesters. So that was my immediate reaction. But 24 hours, 48 hours, and 72 hours after the incident, I discovered that most of the story was overblown, exaggerated, and a lot to do with fake news. So there were claims that 78 people died, and then it became 40, then it became 20, then it became 12, and then pictures started surfacing online of people who were said to have been killed, who supposedly were not killed, who came back to say, look, I'm not dead, I'm here,
Yes.
So, and then the military came out to say, well, we didn't shoot live rounds. And somebody said, oh, she took 78 bodies to the police. There were all kinds of stories that made you then start questioning your first reaction in the first place. So I mean, it wasn't right for the government, whether it was the state government or the federal government, to have sent military to the protest ground. But it wasn't also right for protesters to stay on the protest ground when the state government of Lagos had declared a curfew. So you cannot cure illegality with another illegality.
Now the burning question is, who is to blame? Is it the Nigerian government, the so-called thugs who hijacked the protest, or the police for using excessive force?
I normally do not like the word blame. I don't like to apportion blame, especially when issues of governance are concerned. I always like us to go straight to solutions. I would rather say that people should take responsibilities. And I think that at every level, people who are supposed to take responsibilities did not take responsibility. The government took a lot of time to respond. For example, if the government of Muhammad Buhari had responded earlier, they wouldn't have got to the stage of blocking streets across the nation, If the police IG had announced the end to SARS as early as possible, we wouldn't have gotten to this stage. Now, if the protesters had chosen the path of negotiation also, we wouldn't have got to this point. Don't forget that they listed five things they wanted the government to do, and the government acceded to all 5 requests. The government, they said they wanted the SARS to end, the government ended SARS. Then they said no. Then the government introduced SWAT. They said no, end SWAT. Then it moved from end SWAT to end bad governance, and then it moved from there to Buhari must go. So, at every point, it seems like the protesters were moving the goalpost. And if you do that for the protest, you will never succeed at it. So I think that at every point we miss crucial opportunities to take responsibility. Even religious organizations in Nigeria miss critical opportunities to mediate. The church in Nigeria, I don't want to mention any church, at some point, one of the leading pastors was, frying what we call puff-puff back home in Nigeria and sending to protesters, and tweeting and encouraging them to go on. And so, I recall that the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, actually came out and pleaded with the protesters to negotiate, So what I was just saying is that at every critical point in the discourse, in the protest, we missed the opportunity to take responsibility. So I don't want to stop saying we were all irresponsible at some point or the other.
Absolutely. Now, would you say the Nigerian government and the private media houses reveal the true picture of what transpired at Lekki Toll Gate, Uju, and elsewhere in Lagos on the 20th of October?
Um, the I have because of my particular interest in media, especially media effect on society. I would say that the media failed woefully. I think that people got emotional, and then the media, even the BBC, had to come out at some point to say to apologize because the BBC was was posting stories with pictures that were not real; they were fake pictures.
Mm.
So the BBC had to come out weeks later to apologize for their use of certain images. And because people don't trust government media, it was difficult to accept the report from the Nigerian Television Authority, which is the NTA, because they assumed that, I mean, it's the government-owned media is going to be pro-government. So the media was not on ground. The media ran with social media movement. And that's the danger of the social media today. The social media is now the one setting agenda for the media, and then the media sets agenda for the public. It's a big problem, because it takes, and everybody, because of the power of breaking news, everybody wants to be the first to break the news. People don't take time to verify stories anymore.
Yes.
So that was why BBC and the CNN and other media houses ran with the 78 people died story. And we were found today, weeks after, that there was no such thing as 78. So, as a matter of fact, people, and I'm not trying to be on the side of anybody here, but people are struggling week after October 20th to even present proof that up to 3 people died. It's even difficult to present such a proof. And human life should be very important. It doesn't matter whether it's 10 or 100 or 1,000, no life should be lost, But we shouldn't also play politics with the lives. So I think that the media missed it, and I think, it's an eye opener to the power of the media and the power of the social media,
Okay, so just to end this interview this afternoon, what may have been done to prevent such violent clashes between the protesters and the police force?
Because there is a right time to do the wrong thing. There's a wrong time to do the right thing. I think, and I'll go back and I'll eventually say that the president didn't take responsibility on time. And if you know President Muhammadu Buhari, he's not someone who reacts on time to anything. And it's not because he is not interested. Sometimes it's just the way he is. He takes his time to study things before he talks. But today, the world is so fast that 24 hours is too much. You are late. 4 hours, you are late already. So when he was trending online, the president was out and give a speech, and calm now. He didn't do that. And that's one of the reasons I feel so bad. And also, unfortunately, when you say you have hoodlums and you have peaceful protesters, when you gather 5,000 people in a place and you feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you don't have control over what comes there anymore. So how do you tell if somebody is a peaceful protester or hoodlum? Protesters don't carry ID card, do they? It's not like everybody has special t-shirts to say, I'm a protester, I'm not. People just gather at next day. So everyday people. That's violence. It may not be open violence, but it's violence also. So at some point, we knew, some of us knew we were going to get violent at some point, but blocking the game was not steady.
And thank you for watching today's edition of Let's Sit Down with myself, Bibi Amina Fili. And don't forget to join us every weekend as we give you your amazing dose of what's happening around us. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. And if you'd like to send your feedback, you can send it to Let's Sit Down with B South Africa at gmail.com. From us here, the team, it's a goodbye for now.
جيت عالدنيا وفي أول ثانية فتحت عيوني خرجت من السكون